Hello students, we are in the first chapter of this book of 12th standard known as India, People and Economy. The chapter's name is Population Distribution, Density, Growth and Composition. This is the first part of the chapter on this video, and be sure to watch the second part also. The topics I'm going to cover in this video are these six. We'll see the definitions of some terms, then the formulae and the calculations, then distribution of population in India, density of population in India, growth of population in India, and regional variations in population growth. Here are some definitions for you. The meaning of population is the total number of people who are alive inhabiting a region at a particular point of time. When we say distribution means the manner in which population is spread over the area or areas. Density means the number of human beings in a given area. Growth means the change in number of human beings of a given population in a year or in a decade. I want to say that sometimes the population reduces also. So if that happens, we put the results in parentheses or brackets, but we never report a with a negative sign. Then composition means the structure of the population based on criteria such as age, sex, literacy, occupation, religion, languages, etc. Some more definitions. Physiological density means this is the density also known as real population density. It is the number of people per unit area of arable land. Arable land means that land which can be cultivated where crops can be grown. Agricultural density means the number of farmers per unit area of arable land. Agricultural population means all persons depending on their livelihood on agriculture, hunting, fishing, forestry, animal husbandry, and so on. We can omit hunting, but fishing is also one type of legal hunting. Main workers means a person who is working for salary or wages for at least 183 days or 6 months in a year. Marginal worker means a person who is working for salary or wages but for less than 6 months, that is 183 days in a year. Non-worker means a person who does not work. Now we will see at some formulae and the method of calculation. The first one is population density. When you are given the number of people or the population of the place and the land area, you divide the number of people by the land area and you get the population density in the units of persons per square kilometer. Now I want to say to you with emphasis that whenever you are dividing, you have to ensure that the numerator and the denominator have the same unit of number. For example, if you have taken the land area as millions of square kilometer, then the population density number of people should be also in millions. Usually we report the land area of India as 3.28 million square kilometers, and the population now has reached 136 crores. So that this crores you have to convert it into millions. So 136 crores becomes 1,360 million. Now, when you do that, you have to see the last digit also. When I say 1360, the last digit is 0, and you should not be writing that because it is 1366, because the last digit is also significant. Instead of 0, when we write 6, we are actually referring to 60 lakh people. 60 lakh people is a lot of people. So this you keep in mind in your exams. Physiological density, as you know, is the number of people in a given size of agriculturable land. So, and the unit is per number of persons per square kilometer of arable land. Now, I want to tell you that if in examination you are given a table, you are given the population of a country, or maybe population of two different countries, and their surface area, and their arable land area, and their number of farmers, then you have to select the numbers for division properly with care. Otherwise, you get a wrong answer. Agricultural density means the number of farmers or people involved in farming and agriculture divided by the land area which is cultivable. Now, here we have three formulae. This is about growth rate. The first one is known as sorry, net reproductive rate. To calculate this, you subtract the number of deaths from the number of births. So it is births minus deaths. Divide that by the population size. And when you multiply it with 100, you get the net reproductive rate as percentage. The second is annual growth rate. Now, between second and third, please pay attention. And in examination also, please read properly in the question what is asked. Annual growth rate means uh, the difference between populations of 2 years. That is, if we are talking about population growth in 1 year, we are in the year 2020, and the last year was 2019, and we are in the month of April now. So the population till April 2020 minus population as on April 2019. This is the number of people who have been added to the population, right? And this you would compare it with last year's population. So divided by last year's population. And when you multiply that number with 100, you will get the percentage of annual growth rate. Similarly, one decade means a period of 10 years. So whenever we say decadal growth rate, we are referring to the growth rate in the past 10 years. Bear in mind that in India we conduct the census every 10 years. So when we are talking about census, the last census was in the year 2011, and the next census will be in 2021. That will be the time you will be writing your exams. So if the census has already taken place by that time, make sure that you know the new numbers. In India, the first census was held in the year 1872, but that was not a complete census. So, the first complete census in India was held in the year 1881. So, the decadal growth rate is this decade's population minus last decade's population divided by last decade's population into 100. For example, if we are in the year 2020, then the population of 2020 minus population of 2010, we have to go 10 years behind, then divided by population of 2010. Whatever number you're getting, you multiply that with 100 and you get the decadal growth rate. Now we go to the points in the chapter. The first one is a distribution of population. As you already know, that distribution means how the population is scattered all over the country. There are regions where the scattering is very less, very scant, and this happens because of the terrain. Terrain means the land, the uh, physiological structure of the land. If it is a mountain area such as in the Himalayas, the scattering is more and the density is less. It can be also seen in the desert areas of Rajasthan and in the Ran of Kutch in Gujarat and in the Chambal area of Madhya Pradesh, the northern Chhattisgarh, also in Arunachal Pradesh and some northeastern states because of the forest areas and the hilly areas. But when you look at the northern plains, it's a region of high population, right from west to east till Assam. The reason is this is a place of good cultivable soil because of the river systems, three river systems, Indus, Ganges, and the Brahmaputra. We'll be seeing that in coming slides. Also populous are the coastal areas, coastal plains. Now, when we look at the distribution of population according to the sex, then we can see that this chart is as per the age also, and the red colored bars are for the females and given in percentage of the total population, and the left side blue colored bars are for the males. And on this axis, on the y-axis, you have the age groups from 0 right up to 100 plus, and the percentage composition on the x-axis. Then you can see one thing, that this is very symmetrical. The difference isn't much in the percentage of females and males. There's only marginal difference. And you can also see that the age group which are less than 14 years, there are less number of people, less number of children. And in the coming years, this the lower two bars will be shifting upwards because the age of the children will grow. So now the bulging you see in the age group between 14, 10 and between 10 and 34, this will also smoothen out, become narrower. So India has a very healthy population distribution. And if you can see the figures on the right hand side corner, this is the number taken in the year 2019, and that time the population was 1.366 billion. Now, out of this population, 76% are scattered in UP, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, AP, that is Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Gujarat. These states hold the majority of the population. The least populations are found in Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Jammu and Kashmir. The other percentages are in the other states. The reason is, like I told you, climate is a major reason. Rajasthan is so hot and dry, and Himalayas is so cold and difficult place to live. That is the reason why people come out from there, settle elsewhere for education and for job and so on and so forth. Then availability of water is plenty in the Gangetic plains, in the Indus plains and the Brahmaputra plains. It's good for agriculture, and therefore we have a good population distribution there. There are socio-economic reasons such as urbanization, job opportunities, migration, industrialization, development of transportation and communication. There are also historical reasons because this river plains um, always have a high concentration, and they have the history of early settlement of human beings. The early agriculture was also conducted here, and people have been living there since ages. Now, when we look at the density of population, density means the number of people in a given area. We'll find that even when we look at this earlier slide, this one in the national capital region of Delhi, it's like a black color dot because it's densely populated. Here also various states with various densities. The population is like this. The average density, if you consider for the entire country, is 382 people per square kilometer. Please bear in mind that these are the census 2011 numbers. The lowest is in Arunachal Pradesh because of hilly region and forest and lesser facilities available. The highest is in the national capital region, is 11,297 people per square kilometer. High density states are Bihar, West Bengal, UP, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and the Union Territories except Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The moderate in Assam, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Jharkhand, and Orissa, and they are low in hill states and the northeastern states, except Assam, because Assam is a place which is the river plains of Brahmaputra River, and it's very fertile. Population puts a lot of pressure on the resources. Uh, uh, Basically, we are talking about food. Yes, other resources are also important because if number of houses increase and if there is less amount of land for building up houses, the cost of land goes up. It happens with agricultural land also. So if the population is more, it puts a lot of pressure on the resources present in that area. So that this is the reason why studying the density is important of population density. Then knowing the density informs you of the crude relationship between the land area and the human pressure on it. To do that in a better way, because food is something we all require at least twice a day, even if the arable land is reducing in size and the population is increasing in size. So for that reason, we calculate the physiological density and the agricultural density. Now, I want to tell you one thing that if the data is given to you in examination and you are asked to compare two states or two countries based on physiological density and agricultural density and integrate that with your knowledge of economics, and you're asked a question about economics, then you should be able to answer. You just have to do the calculation and then compare the numbers. Now, this is about the growth of population in India. We already told you that growth of population means the number of people growing. Number of people growing is because of principally uh, two reasons. One is the number of births are increasing. The second is the inward migration is increasing. So we have a term known as natural growth. This is the assessment of the crude birth and death rates. So what you're getting is a number which is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So you subtract death rate and death number from the number of births. In induced growth, you have to also consider the inward migration, that is, people coming into that state or that country, and outward migration, that is, people leaving that place or that city or that state. Decadal growth rate is for 10 years as conducted in census, and the annual growth rate is the rate of change compared to last year. At present, for your knowledge, it is 1.64%. This is as per the 2011 census. Now, there are four distinct phases in the growth of population in India, and these are important for you to understand for the examination. The first one is the 20 years between 1901 and 1921. This is termed as a stagnant period. The reason is the number of birth rate was high and the death rate was also high. So they were balancing out each other. India had poor health services and illiteracy. We didn't have an efficient food distribution system. And one major event of this period is the First World War. India was a British colony, and although we were not willing or not ready to go to the war, but we had to go to the war. The second phase is the 30-year period from 1921 till 1951. This is a period of steady growth of rate of population. There was improvement in healthcare and sanitation and better transportation and communication system. Also, the public distribution system, that is PDS, came into existence. Uh, Soon after independence, we had this 5-year plans coming. So that made an impact on the development of our country. So that I've written in green here. So these are the three major events of this period. The good event was India getting independence. The unwanted events were the Second World War and the Great Economic Depression of the 1920s. The third phase between 1951 and 1981 is known as a period of population explosion. See, today you know that the population growth rate is 1.64%. Now compare this 2.2% with that. 2.2 is a very high rate. The reason was the rapid fall in the mortality rate. The mortality rate means number of people dying reduced, and rise in fertility rates. Then developmental activities were in full swing. Also, India saw migration from the neighboring countries. Uh, there were after partition, there was a stream of people coming from Pakistan. We know that Sindhis came to India from Pakistan. Nepal, people from there came and settled here. They wanted jobs, they wanted a good life. Then there was the East Pakistan War, which resulted in the formation of Bangladesh. During that time, a lot of Bengalis from Bangladesh came back to India. Because of instability in Tibet, many people came and settled in India. Bangalore has got a center for Tibetans. You know that. From 1981 till present is the fourth phase. This is a phase of slowdown. The reason is the mean age for marriage has increased and the quality of life has increased. The education is better now, especially in females. There is more such social awareness. Also, the expenses have increased. People are able to think rationally. This is the reason why this fourth phase is a period of slowdown. So you should be able to write that in your examination. Now, when you see region wise, we can classify India as in two regions. With one is with the high growth rate, that is between 20 and 25%. And these states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Sikkim, Assam, West Bengal, Bihar, and Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand fall under that category. And the second one is a low birth rate, growth rate, that is less than 20%. Here, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Puducherry, and most union territories, and Goa, out of which Kerala has got the lowest growth rate, that is 9.4% only. This is end of first part of this chapter. Give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. But it gives a confidence to me because whatever resources I'm having at this time of lockdown, I'm using that for the welfare of my children so that my children do not suffer. Their time doesn't go waste. Wait for the next video. Bye.